Well, this is where the real stuff starts. The great man, Peter.
Absolutely. Come on. Bang, 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 bang.
Been too long, mate. Let's be honest. It seems like an eternity. And our little neighbours, the rugby league boys, they had it on their own last weekend, but we are on this weekend, mate. All thanks to Palmerbet, of course, Spide.
Absolutely. Don't start me with this their round, our round. You know what? The AFL has to run in their own race, run in their own lane. I don't care. Like, if they wanted to take on the NRL, that's easy. Play last weekend. The big game in Vegas was last weekend. If they wanted to capitalise on New South Wales and Queensland, do it last weekend. This weekend, we've got an absolute cracking Saturday on the Gold Coast. We've got the Gold Coast Suns versus the Tigers. Then you can go to the Jewel, which is one of the biggest race days on the Gold Coast. Yeah. And then if you over that, go to the Rugby League at night, watch the Titans versus St. George. They've done nothing. So I reckon they should have left it a couple of weeks. Yes, we want AFL to start early, but starting earlier, don't worry about the Rugby League. We're a better game. I don't even like their game.
I'm with you, mate. I reckon they've missed the boat. If they were going to do it, it had to be last weekend when all the NRL attention was over in Las Vegas, Spide. But I
don't know who's the top boss of the AFL making the decisions, but all they have to do is download the podcast, and I'll tell you what, we'll get the decisions made nice and easy.
Hey, mate, in all honesty, though, it is going to be great. There's footy's back in the talking point, isn't it? You know, like there's a lot of things going on off the field, also on the field. Spide, what did you make of Clarko, the Jai Simpkin hit, all that kind of stuff, mate? It's been a big kind of last few days in the AFL scene, hasn't it?
Well, it has. It always happens this time of the year. You know, you just pray you get towards round one and you don't have to, bail anybody out or, pay some bond money to make sure there's a player out of jail. But, yeah, look, the hit on Jai Simpkins, it's just not football anymore. You know, we understand. Absolutely. And I think everybody understands where it's at and realises the situation. Unfortunately, 3 big KOs or concussions for him as well now puts him behind the, realistically, could be his AFL career. We don't know what it costs. And look, I understand where Clarko's coming from, but if you're trying to set the club up and trying to be a leader at a football club, you can't do that. He did it 12 months ago and got smacked. Yeah. He needs to be smacked again, unfortunately. You just, what he said, yeah, I think most people would have said it. The players would have said it. Everybody would have had a crack. But at the same time, you're the coach. You're the one trying to lead by example. So I think, as a footy club, they'd like to sit there and go, you know what, we're better than that.
We're going soft, Spide. I think as a society, mate, I'm going the other way. We've got to have a bit of passion in the game, mate. I know we've got to go with the times and all that stuff, but we can't go too far that one way, mate. Like, seriously. And what
but as a coach, like if it was the players, I don't disagree.
But don't you love
as a coach
passion? Don't you love seeing that from the coach?
Absolutely. But then if I have a crack at him, I hope nothing comes of it either.
Yeah. So you would have had that over the journey too. I think you might have had a couple of little run-ins with the coach over the journey too.
Well, I still don't expect Alistair Clarkson over 10 years ago, so there's probably a bit into that. So you get over that.
Long memory, mate. Long memory, big fella.
I've got a memory like an elephant.
Hey, listen, mate, there's 8 teams featuring this weekend. So, of course, Thursday night, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Carlton Friday night, Gold Coast, Richmond on Saturday Arvo, and the GWS and Collingwood on Saturday night. Out of those 8 teams, who's got the most at stake in your eyes, do you reckon? Like to kick the season off? Is it Melbourne coming off such a tumultuous off season? Is it Brisbane at home if they happen to lose the home game? Is it, Adam Uze and the new coach at the Tigers? Who is it, do you reckon?
Oh, look, I don't think Collingwood and GWS, it's a flip of the coin. Doesn't matter. I don't think Uze's got much. I think Suns have got a little bit. The Suns need to start well. They need to, there's a lot of people saying in the next 4 or 5 years they'll definitely play finals, top 4, top 2 premiership. So I think they've got a little bit of stake. Absolutely Brisbane at home. Again, Carlton as well. Carlton, ended the season so well, yet, they started so poorly. So there's a lot of teams out of all of them, I think the one, if they lose and they lose convincingly, it's going to be probably the Suns or Carlton. I'll probably say Carlton probably get the most heat.
Yeah, right. I would have said I actually reckon the blowtorch might be on the Demons a little bit because I reckon everyone's waiting for them to falter. And I think this is a really good opportunity for them as a club to make a bit of a statement, isn't it? Kick the season off and just say, you know what, we're not worrying about what's happened, what everyone's saying about us as a club. We're going to prove you guys wrong.
And that'll be a huge statement. And I actually think, and I believe that they're in that pattern to be able to do it. So, look, yeah, you're right. But I think they'll give them a couple of weeks where, Carlton fans, if they lose one.
Oh, yeah.
The heat just goes up a little bit. Lose two. Oh, it's where we were again. Oh, we're no good. Chuck in our memberships, burn them. Yeah. So, I think Carlton need to come out in pretty good nick.
Now, what about you live on the Gold Coast, mate? Like you come down to Melbourne a fair bit, but you live up there. You're on Bricky Radio up there. You're heavily involved in the community. You're like an icon up there, Spider. They're naming buildings after you and their statues, all stuff.
Yeah,
on Camel Avenue.
Statue released tomorrow.
But mate, what's the build up? What's the hype been like with Damien Hardwick at the Suns? Is there a bit of anticipation? Do you think there's going to be a big crowd there over the weekend?
Well, I think I think for the Gold Coast, we've got two of the best coaches in the land coming to the Gold Coast. In the NRL, we've got Desi Hasler, who's a loose unit, who'll push boundaries, he'll have a crack at the media, and will get his team up and firing. And then on the other hand, in the AFL, we've got Dimmer as well. His expectations, 3-time premiership coach, he's going to come with a lot of that experience. So, look, we're in a good spot, but at the same time, you've still got to get wins on the board. And right now, the Gold Coast Suns, there's a really good belief. You can see, when you're a Tigers fan, you can see when they'll go out to games and they'll crack a joke in the middle of the ground, then they'll go out and play great footy and play with flair. And, they knew what they wanted to do. And you can feel that around the Gold Coast Suns. You can feel just that excitement, that camaraderie amongst the players. And, the corporates have been sold out now for quite a few weeks. There's only a couple of hundred tickets left, so they'll play in front of the biggest crowd they've ever played in front of. So absolutely, the hype and the build is here, and they've just got to live up to those expectations. They're a good side, but they need to be a great side. They need to be a good, great side consistently. So look, the build-up's here. The pressure's going to be around it, and we love it. We absolutely love it.
Oh, listen to me. We love it. I like it. I reckon there's a couple of cashies up there if the corporate all sold out. A little bit of speaking opportunity for the great man to get in there and just weave a bit of magic. But Spide, let's turn our attention. Let's have a look at the game starting off Thursday night. It's Sydney taking on Melbourne, 7:30 at the SCG. It's going to be a big, big way to start the season. It's not the traditional Richmond v Carlton game that we've kind of come synonymous with over the journey, but the Swans head-to-head $1.94, Melbourne at $1.90 at the line, Sydney plus 0.5. It's tight, $1.90, Melbourne minus 0.5, $1.90. How do we see this one playing out, mate? We just touched on the pressures, all that stuff. For mine, I reckon the Swans got a few injuries in the off-season that might just take a little bit of time to iron out.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't get us started on Carlton Richmond being the opening game of the season, because that absolutely should be. We've spoken about, I think the AFL's got this wrong, but let's look at the games that are ahead of us. And this is going to be a cracker. I think nearly every game this weekend is sold out. Nearly every game next weekend is sold out. So is it a positive for the AFL? Absolutely. But you know what? AFL fans, we would have gone to anything this weekend just to make sure we get our fix of footy. But you're right. The Swans have got a couple of big injuries, and that's what's going to hurt them. I think a lot of hype, and we want to be able to see Grundy go around. He's had a couple of years realistically of playing twos footy, so he should be fresh, he should be keen, he should be eager. It's going to be great to see him at the new club. You got Blakey and also Golden, two of the superstars of the competition, up against what often we said last year, this is the best side you'll see on paper, yet they don't deliver it on a Saturday or Sunday, and that is, of course, Melbourne. They just need to be able to deliver. And I actually really like the fact that Oliver's going to be playing. They've declared it, said, you know what? He's done all the right things. He will be playing. There's no speculation. There's no games. He's going to be out there.
I
He
love
will
it.
play.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
and for
great call.
that, and I reckon for that, me personally, I I reckon he'll get him over the line himself. I
Yeah.
reckon he's going to be absolutely cherry ripe. You look at some players that have had dramas over the years. You go through the Duck, you can go through Cousins, you go through now Oliver. They're
The
superstars,
Goey.
and when they come back, they don't let you down, and they continue to go. So
Are you on
I
the
think
Demons?
I'm on the Demons, absolutely.
I'm on the Demons too, mate. I actually reckon that at $1.90, I reckon they're probably the bet of the weekend for mine.
Well, can we just confirm this too for all the
Yes.
Palmer bet fanatics out there,
Oh,
everybody watching? We are going to be held accountable this year
mhm.
for our tips. You've got to say yours. I'm saying mine. We're going to follow them up the week after, even our multis, and hold each other accountable. So
Mate,
now there's no playing games. This is like feeding them. This is what we think.
yeah, and we are going to just keep each other measured right throughout the season. Just keep a little running tally, mate, and just see where we're actually at with everything. It's going to be great. So we're both on the Demons. High scoring, low
Yeah.
scoring. What do you think? It's weather looks good. It's going to be a warm weekend.
Yeah, look, I think Melbourne can score heavily,
Yep.
and I just think Sydney's defensive line's probably a little bit suspect at the moment. Melbourne's forwards aren't the key. I still think Petrarca and Oliver, we know their midfield's able to pop up and kick plenty of goals. So I think, it'll be over 170 odd points anyway.
Right, beautiful, mate. Let's turn our attention to Friday night footy at the Gabba. Brisbane taking on Carlton. We saw those juicy odds last week, all thanks to Palmbet. Was it 12 or $15 to go through undefeated at home, Spide?
$10. $1 they'll lose, $10 undefeated.
So we thought that was cherry ripe, and this is going to be one of those games that I think, if they can get and kick their season off to a fly, anything's going to happen. It's 7:40 p.m. at the Gabba, as I mentioned. Head to head, all thanks to Palmerbet. The line's $1.28, Carlton 370. At the line, Brisbane 22.5. That's a minus 22.5, $1.90. Carlton plus 22.5, $1.90. There's a couple of question marks here. Can Carlton back up their back half of the year? They had a fantastic last kind of 8 or 10 weeks, Spide. And the other one is, like a grand final loss, which was heartbreaking for Brisbane. It was such a cracking contest. How do they back up, off the back?
Well, Brisbane's done it for the last 5 years. I think they're the team that's played the most finals in the last 5 years. So, it's really interesting. But look, I don't think Brisbane's going to have a problem. Yeah, they got kicked in the guts again. They'll rebound and continue to produce the footy. I think the big question mark here and the big question we're going to ask is the fact, can Carlton actually deliver? We know they haven't got the turnover game of others. They really rely on their midfield. But then, you look at the Brisbane midfield. We know Rainey can go in there. I'm sure Charlie Cameron will go in there at time. McCluggage is one of the great Dunkley's, great player as well. So, look, I just think Brisbane have got they got a solid team, and they're going to continue to be another solid outfit throughout the year. At home, it's been sold out for weeks. You haven't even been able to get tickets for that for weeks and weeks. So don't even bother trying to get up there. And the big question is, we always ask the two tools. You need more than two tools in your forward line for Carlton. Yeah. They need, your Motlops and your Jesse Martin, these kind of blokes stepping up, kicking multiple goals, because two guys can't win a premiership for you. So for me, I'm going to still stick with Brisbane. I reckon Brisbane at home. I'm a massive fan of Brisbane not losing at home all year. So I think this is just one step towards that $10.
Yeah, right. A step. I'm with you. I think Brisbane will get the job done, but a fired up Carlton to start the season, continue where they left off, wouldn't surprise me either. And I reckon the key matchup, I reckon Charlie Curnow and Harris Andrews, I reckon that's going to be the key matchup, because if Charlie can get off the leash, kick straight, Spide, if he kicks 6 or 7, the Blues might be a sneaky little chance. But I'm not convinced with the two big boys together. I reckon they.
Yeah. Well, you weren't a fan last year. You're not going to be a fan this year. So,
yeah.
What about, okay, but how long does that passion stay at Carlton? You know what I mean? Like that hard, you need 4 quarters of footy up there to beat Brisbane. You can't play it for 5 minutes. We saw last year in the finals, I think they were up by 5 or 6 goals at half time.
Yeah.
And they ended up losing by 5 or 6.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Spot. I reckon they rolled Brisbane at the Gabba late last year. I'm pretty sure, didn't they? The Blues.
I could just remember the last. I thought they were leading at half time and then lost.
Might have got overrun. It was close. I've just got a sneaky
Yeah.
suspicion. I reckon they might have rolled them. Righto, Gold Coast v Richmond. This is Saturday, 4:20 at Heritage Bank Stadium. Get there early, and you might even get an autograph signed jumper at Old Saints one or something from the great man Spida Everett, if you're lucky.
I'll be outside gate 6.
That's the corporate area, I'd say. Gold Coast, $1.54. Richmond, $2.50 at the line. Gold Coast minus $11.50.90. Richmond plus $11.50.90. New coach at the Tigers, Adam Uze. What's he going to bring to the table? This is going to be the talking points. Is he going to play in blood some new young kids? Gold Coast haven't played finals. They got the new coach, Damien Hardwick, who, of course, was the Richmond coach. There's so much to play out.
Yeah.
I just reckon the Tigers boys, I know I'm a Richmond man, Spide, but I reckon the Tigers players are going to be, you know what, let's stick it up Dimmer here and let's say, hey, you left us, we're going to show you've made the wrong decision.
I know a lot of people wouldn't say it, but I'd be bringing that out. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Drew training. This is a coach that walked out on you guys halfway through last year. Yeah. And he knew what he was doing.
Of course he did.
It's not like, oh, okay, I've had enough, and then suddenly finds a job. Yeah. Like, I'm a massive Suns fan, but if I was playing for Richmond, I'd think nothing better than absolutely shoving it up Dimmer by getting a good win this weekend. And I think most players will look like that. And you think, over the years, the Suns haven't got good rivalry with many clubs, but they have with Richmond. Carmichael Hunt kicked the goal, beat him. Noah Anderson kicked the goal off the siren, beat him. Now they've got their coach, okay? So there is kind of that rivalry amongst these teams that actually call for a classic game. And then when you start going through their teams, and, I know Uze versus Dimmer, Uze's going to allow players, Pickett and Prestia and all these kind of play their different roles, Shai Bolton. And then, Damien Hardwick allowing their midfield of Noah Anderson and, Rao and these blokes to play. So it's going to be really interesting. I can't wait to be out there. 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, perfect conditions. Hardest thing is trying to pick who wins this.
Come on, mate. It's not hard for me. I'm on the Tiggies, mate. $2.50. I reckon it's a luxury. Absolutely.
Yeah. You know what? I'm with you.
Yes.
And I wouldn't be going that.
3 years.
Oh, no, but like I'm going to take my odds later on, but I honestly, we'll be having a bet this game, but I like Richmond at 12.5 at the line.
Yeah,
I think that's a great bet.
So do I, mate. Absolutely, and you're right. They've had some close encounters. It gives yourself a little bit of breathing space there on the Palmer bet app, mate. So
they've got a lot of experience, Richmond. That's
absolutely.
What gets me. And so you go through their side, and
coming back in too. Like it's we didn't have a lot of these players last year. So
yeah, you lose Rewalt, but Rewalt he did enough, but he wasn't what he used to be. Hodgson obviously played his massive role.
Yeah,
but you've still got a heap of young kids coming up, like all these young blokes. But
I'm just still young, mate. Yeah.
Damien Hardwick same. Damien Hardwick's still got a really good, a good list to work with. Can they orchestrate his game plan well enough round one?
Yeah.
With that, we haven't seen it in the preseason.
Nah. Righto. We're both on the Tigers.
Wow.
Love it. 3 from 3, and we are on together. This is unbelievable. Righto. Final game. GWS taking on the Collingwood Football Club. This is Saturday night under lights at Giants Stadium, 7:30. It'll be huge. There'll be plenty of high supporters there, you would imagine, Spide. Head-to-head, all thanks to Palmer Bet. The Giants $1.67. Collingwood, last year's Premier Spider.
Yeah.
$2.21. What's happened to the team at Palmer Bet? At the line, GWS minus $4.50, $1.90. Collingwood plus $4.50, $1.90. Is this ridiculous? Are we just expecting that the Giants, is it just, I don't know, is it just.
It's your mates at Palmer Bet. They don't know. Did they watch last year's grand final or not? Obviously, they're still stuck in prelim days because, you sit there and go, how is this possible? But just for punters out there, I'll ask you very quickly and I'll get on to the game. Can you leave Suns versus Richmond at 3/4 time to beat the traffic to get home to be able to watch this game?
Yeah, you'll just get there, I reckon, Spot, if you're living somewhere in near Cavill Avenue. I reckon you
Yeah, okay. Because that's what I do.
you
I
don't
leave at
you
3/4
don't
time.
detour to players or anything like that, mate. You just go straight home.
Gone to those days. My membership cards ran out. My medallion, they said, sorry, we don't take those anymore. I look at this game and I think same as like Collingwood. I think the way Collingwood are and GWS freaks. Like Toby Green, Tom Green, Caniglio. You can go through their side and they will play finals. And a lot of people picked them for the lost top two. Very stiff not to make it. Kick in it. Yep, very good. Good pre-season, ready to go. I know Collingwood, McStay, and a couple of others aren't in it, but I just still believe that Collingwood are a side that don't want to lose any game.
Yeah.
You see some sides after a grand final, a bit of a hangover for 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I can't see Dacos doing that. I reckon to go his mindset to change, he won't allow that. I don't think Moore's going to allow that. We know that you go through their list and you go, you know what? I think Collingwood's different to a lot of other clubs now. And I believe Collingwood will be set for this, saying, you know what? We're going to make a statement and we'll make it from round one and come on the journey with us.
Spide, are you with the Pies? Because I'm with the Pies.
Oh, don't.
It's fair dinkum, mate. So this is uncanny. 4 from 4. We're together.
Yeah, we are.
It doesn't matter if it wins. Who cares, mate? Because we're both on it together, big fella.
It's money in the bank. But if I was to go through my list,
yeah,
like I'm not going to back. Like I'll back Melbourne 1 to 39.
Yep.
Well, have you got a multiplayer there? But add this up for me.
Yep. Right. Give it to me. Give it to me, Spot.
So we're picking the 4 same.
Yep.
Teams to win.
Yep.
But I'm going to take Melbourne 1 to 39.
Yep.
I'll take Lions 40 plus.
Oh, yep.
Jeez, that's going to be the value, but the Lions at 24.
Lygon Street anymore, mate. You're absolutely barking down there.
I'm off carbs, so it doesn't matter. How they passed up.
Well, they say Lions 40 plus, Melbourne 1 to 39, and then what?
Richmond at line at minus 12.5.
Yep.
And then Collingwood head to head.
Collingwood to win. $29.52, Spide.
That's good value.
Oh, it's huge value. Absolutely.
Obviously, Lions need to win by a fair bit, but you know what? At home, at the Gabba, cracking conditions.
Love it.
They're going to be up and about.
Well, mine, I just went the 4. So even just to pick the 4. So Melbourne, Brisbane, Tigers, Pies, 13.07. Like that is value at its best.
Yeah.
So that's the way I've gone. Now, what else? Because everyone hangs for these, especially the names you give some of these little bets in that spot. So what do we got?
Yeah. Look, well, every week, of course, we've got to do a bit of a multi. So, this week, it's always going to be hard. You don't know who's going to stack up possessions. You got to, look for a couple of weeks, and we've already given the who's going to win. But big by name, but not by stature. All right. So big by name, but not by stature. So
little ones.
I'll take Jamie Elliott. These are all to kick 2 goals.
Got 2+. You love your 2+.
I do, because I know we all go for our big forwards, but Jamie Elliott, he loves these days.
Yeah.
I love Jamie Elliott 2+.
Yeah.
Shy Bolton, he's on fire at the moment. Different forward line for Richmond. He'll be popping up, no doubt. Charlie Cameron. He's always on fire at the start of the year. He starts well.
On the home.
Sometimes towards the end of the year, lessons off, but at the start, and no doubt I'm having 2 for Petrarca. Petrarca will play forward at some stage for Melbourne. So with Oliver back, Petrarca forward a little bit more. They're my 4, all to kick 2 goals each.
That's going to give
big by name, not by stature.
$14.49 on the Palmer bet. That is really simple. I love it, mate. Absolutely love it. I'm going to go my best. I'm going to call it Tigers Bolton in, which might give you a little clue as to what I'm thinking.
Hang on. Can we just, we can have this round 1.
Yeah.
But we can't have a Tigers multi every week.
No. I went through it and I thought they were the value of the weekend. So I promise I won't make it a Tigers multi every week. Maybe every week. But anyway, so I've just got the Tigers to win, right, at 250. Yeah. Shy Bolton to get 25 plus, right? Yeah. I reckon he's in good nick. And I reckon Adam Uzo, you were spot on before. I reckon he's just going to release the shackles and say, you go and take him on, play the game, enjoy yourself. And Bolton, anytime goal scorer, $8.26. I reckon that is good value for a simple little
absolutely.
So that is my Matty's must-have. And your
my Matty must-have.
Even give it a name.
All right. My Spida special is...
Now, listen, mate, it is going to be a cracker. Yeah. I know. I just don't know. I don't think it's got as much buzz as a normal round one with that traditional.
Well, it's not round one.
Nah, it's round zero, ground zero.
It's zero round. It is Mickey Mouse football. A bit disappointing, but you know what? We have got footy back. It is what it is. The real game is next Thursday night. Carlton versus Richmond. We absolutely love it. That's what we tried for in the AFL season. But, the AFL got it wrong. They did it a few years ago. They will never do it again. We understand. But, we're going to be excited. Footy's back. Multi up. Enjoy the footy. We love it.
Yeah, mate, we do love it. And gamble responsibly. That is the key message. Download the Palmerbet app. Get involved with the show as well. Let us know your thoughts if we're tipping no good or we're saying...
Show us your multis.
Show us your multis. Now we're talking, Spide. Show us your multi. Show us your top eight. Show us your premiership, your Brownlow bets, you name it. We want to see it, mate. It is going to be an absolute cracker, regardless. Footy's back, and that's the number one thing. But, Spide, look forward to joining you right throughout the season, mate. We're going to take an in-depth look at everything, and hopefully we tip you into a winner as well.
Well, you know what? We've got 201 days left to go to do it, so come on! Yeah!
201 days. Jeez, you work. Hey, have a great weekend, mate.
Enjoy.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.